Good afternoon, guys. In this lab, we're going to talk about different type of instances in AWS. So first and foremost, the first one that we're going to talk about is Spot instance. So you could just click on the left-hand side and click on Spot instance. And you can check different pricing, like the pricing history here. And for our EC2 instances, so we will look at, for example, at the C3 large. So we have like graph, availability zone, instance type, and see we have C3 here. And you have the availability zone A, and the platform is Linux. The date range is 1 week. So let's say, for instance, if we were to type in like C4, and the C4, for example, so you are running like Linux or Unix, and you are going to look at like the 3 months range. Let's say we would look at the 3 months range. So we have one base of the different like availability zones. Say we take the graph from here. So the price, say graph, so C4. So this is based on different type of so based on the different range you're looking at, you're going to look at the saving run. Let's say, so we have here on demand pricing, the ECUS 1A, B, and so on. So let's see, display normalizing the price. So you see all the pricing here and stuff like that. So now, how do you request a spot instance? So you could just go here and click request. And click request. And we have manual configure launch parameter, use the launch template, search for AMI, like the kind of image that you want to do. So select an AMI and configure optional parameter. So and there's a lot of parameter that I can see, but I want to go quickly over them just so you know. I mean, just so you get an idea of how spot instance fleet request works. So you can either use a launch template. So you can either use, I mean, a launch template or manual configure launch parameter. So you can specify whether if it's on Amazon Linux 2 and the key pair you want to use for that, as well as some additional launch parameter you would specify if you were create on instances. So these are the additional request details and stuff like that. So we also have the targets capacity. This is for for the total target capacity. You could set your total target capacity number of your vCPU to launch, whether if you want to launch one or two or whatever, like 10 instances at the time. So it all depends on the number of instances that you want to use. So you could maintain target capacity or set the maximum cost for spot instances. So you would specify you were to create an EC2 instances. So this define how your EC2 instances are created. So this makes sense. Next, we have like request details. So we wanna like set more details and stuff and stuff like that. So this says that keep the request valid for 1 year, terminate the instance where the request expired. So, and down here we have like we link these we link these EC2 instances to one or more classic load balancer or target group. Or target group to have it, for example, for an application load balancer. So we'll use the default for this. So on the networking side, it says that launch your instance into an Amazon virtual private cloud. You can create a VPC and select your own IP address range, create a subnet, configure route table, and configure network gateway. So again, if you have to create a new VPC, you could just click here and create that. Now, in all cases, see, you just click here and create your VPC. Now, in all cases, I will just keep mine as default right there. Now, for availability zone, if you want to set up an availability zone, it says availability zones are isolated location specific. Specific to a separate geographic area known as region with spot. You can select multiple availability zone with a specific region to launch your spot instances. So now no preferences balance across all availability zones. Now if you were to create a subnet or specify the subnet with the availability zone that you would like to have yet to be load balance, you would just select which zone here that you want your spot instance to be available for. Now, I will just leave this as default. That's here if you want to create a new subnet. So these are fun stuff. Now, for the instance type, requirements. It says to enter your compute requirement and let us choose optimal instance type to configure your spot instance request, your spot fleet request or manual. Select the specific instance type you want to use. So whether if you want this to be manual or if you want to specify instance attributes that match your compute requirements. So all that is just if you want to set like the VPC, the vCPU, you're going to enter the minimum and the maximum of it, for instance. So say, for instance, I could say it's a minimum of 5 and a maximum of what, like 20. So, and then you could either like select this minimum and the maximum, and the memory here, you would want to give it a memory, like enter the minimum of and the maximum gigabyte of memory per instances. If you want to do that, you could also, and additional instance attribute and all of that. So if you want to review, marching instance type is 117. So these lists include all of the instance type that match your compute requirement. So Amazon EC2 may provision capacity from any of these instance type. So the exact instance type that are used to fulfill your fleet request will depend on on the allocation strategy you use and available capacity. So it is just showing you the instances like the C1, C2, C3, and so on that we had shown you earlier. So it's all the way, like if you want to go to X and Z, so their memories and stuff like that. So like as you observe that we have like X1E 4X large is about like 488 gigabit, and the largest one is 512 and stuff like that. So the allocation strategy and everything. Now, after you have selected all of the everything that meets your requirement, you would go down here and click on launch to launch your instance. And if you read here, it says that your fleet request at a glance. So it's just giving you a summary of all of the selected things that it says total target capacity is 10 instances, and the instance requirements attribute based on whatever that you selected. And the fleet strength, it says that it's weak. So 117 marching instance type and 0 availability zone. So that's why it's weak. So you should have set an availability zone to be on the safe side. And now the price, it says that estimated hourly price is for $4.302 per hour at target capacity. So 56% saving compared to on-demand instance. So I think this is pretty neat. And since this was just for lab purposes, I'm not going to create this instance. I will hit cancel. I would want to move forward into now that was spot instance. So let's just click on reserve instances. So let's click on reserve instance. And now what we should do is, I guess, let's just Google and say, what is spot instance in AWS? So AWS spot instance. So Amazon EC2 spot instances let you take advantage of the unused EC2 capacity in the AWS cloud. So spot instances are available at up to 90% discount compared to on-demand instance price. On-demand prices. So you can use spot instance for various stateless, fault tolerant, or flexible applications such as big data, containerized workload, CI/CD, web server, high performance computing, and test and development workloads, because Spot Instance are tightly integrated with AWS services such as auto scaling, EMR, ECS, cloud formation, data pipeline, and AWS batches. You can choose how to launch and maintain your application running on Spot instances. So that's pretty. So why use Amazon EC2 Spot instance? Because it's low, predictable pricing, and it's massive scale and easy to use. So that's basically so how Spot instance work. It's just showing you here. So Amazon EC2, Amazon EMR, Amazon ECS, and other AWS services. So before running Spot instances, refer to best practice. So Amazon EC2 Spot instance pick the Spot instance option, stuff like that. So I think this is pretty neat. It's just giving you, like, you choose interruption that you want to use, but if you want to hibernate, stop, and terminate your instance. So that's giving you every feature that Spot instances come with. So let's just, if we were back out of here, let's see the Spot instance. Let's say if you would create that. Now the fact that we don't launch our instance, it just didn't show us whether to see where you would hibernate, spot, stop or terminate, but this is pretty frank. So how about we check on um on um reserve instance. Spot reserve, get it all. So purchase reserve instance. So let's say if we were to click here, you see purchase reserve instances. So you got the platform, which is Linux and Unix. The tenancy is as default, but you could click dedicated if you want to choose to. Offering classes is any. So option is like is either standard or convertible. And instance type is T3, but you could pick, choose, and any instances that, any images that um that meet your requirement. So then you get the term is either from 1 month to 12, from 12 months to 36 months, which is about 3 years, and a pay option, no upfront, partial upfront, all upfront. So it's so friendly, you could pay any way you would like. So to find a reserve instance offering, complete the following steps. So specify the offering detail and the click search. Select the reserve instance and specify the quality that you want, and add them to your cart. Click view cart. View your cart before purchasing the reserve instance. So it's pretty neat. Now, if you would go, so what is reserve? Sorry, reserve instance in AWS. So on Amazon reserve instance, or I, is a billing discount that allows you to save on your Amazon EC2 usage cost. When you purchase a reserve instance, you can set attributes such as instance type, platform, tenancy, region, or availability zone, optional. So if you click here, is this Amazon? Let's check to see if it's so I like to, okay. So resolution on Amazon reserve instance, bang, bang, bang. So you read this, any an existing or new demand, on-demand instance matching the selected attributes or charge at the discounted reserve instance price. So reserve instance act as an automatic discount on new on existing on-demand instances in your account. Let's check here. Reserve instance. So reserve instances. So reserve instance provide you with significant saving on your Amazon EC2 cost compared to an on-demand instance pricing. So reserve instance are not physical instances, but rather a billing discount applied to the use of on-demand instance in your account. So these on-demand instance must must match certain attributes such as instance type and region in order to benefit from the billing discount. So that's the reserve instance overview. The following diagram shows the basic overview of purchasing and using reserve instances. So we get the T2 instance. This is pretty user-friendly. You could visit this website and get to know these things. So what about schedule instance? So you could purchase schedule instance too as well. So you could like create a schedule and then you could like set the date, specify the date that you want to schedule your instance for. If it's today or on the 25th, if you want to pick choose and which month that you would like to to create your schedule instance and the date on the day and allow 2 hours time windows for duration, recurring, daily, instance detail, the platform you want to use, the availability zone that you want to pick, and bang, there we go. You will find schedule and click here to purchase your instance as you will need. So I think this is basically all that you have to know about instances. So let's see. So on-demand instance lets you pay to compute capacity by the hour or second, minimum of 60 seconds with no long-term commitment. This frees you from the cost and complexity of planning, purchasing, and maintaining hardware and transform what are commonly large fixed costs into much smaller variable cost. So that's for the on-demand. So on-demand instance that you pay for compute capacity by the hour. So you read that already. So basically, all that is. So let's see something here. Instance type, template, spot instance, event plan, reserve instance, dedicated host. Let's see something about dedicated host. See, allocate dedicated host. So configure coordinates of scheduled instance, then capacity reserve. So create that. All right. So I hope this was helpful. Again, you could create your own Amazon account and play with these things yourself. Just get to familiar with them and get to know these technologies if this is of your interest to do. So again, thank you for following along. Stay tuned for another lab. I'll see you soon. So by the way, I think I should talk about AWS license management. So guys, so AWS license manager, so manage your software license and fine-tune license cost. So unlimited access with the AWS free tier. Already have that. So what that is to gain greater visibility and control over how software licenses are used and prevent misuse before they happen. So save money with the maximum use of license, including how you track and manage licenses. It's reduce the risk of non-compliance by enforcing license usage limits, blocking new launch, and using other controls, increase your productivity by automating the placement, release, the recovery of host using host reduce group. So how it works, it's just explain it. So it says AWS license manager. So it's define rules of your license software, attach licensing rules during launch, and proactively control usage. So it's search inventory and track license brought in post launch. So use alerts to control and centrally manage licensing across all AWS account and on premises. So it explained the use cases here of those licensing. So streamline licensing manager, so switch or whatever. You can read that yourself. I just wanna letting you know that on those videos, all of these resources are within your reach. And if it is in your interest to get to know these technologies, you could by yourself learn them and get familiar with them. So again, I appreciate your stop by. Stay tuned for another lab configuration. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.